I'll be honest with you, I wasted an entire growing season sprinkling rice water and crushed corn around my garden beds because, well, some viral video told me it was the secret to explosive growth. Spoiler alert, my tomatoes didn't care, and my soil definitely didn't transform into the rich living ecosystem I was promised. But then I discovered what actual soil scientists and regenerative farmers have been using for decades, and honestly, everything changed. This one amendment turned my struggling clay soil into a thriving garden paradise in just one season. And no, it's not some exotic ingredient you need to order online or some complicated fermentation project. It's been hiding in plain sight, and once you understand why it works, you'll never waste money on trendy kitchen scraps again. Let's talk about why rice and corn became garden darlings in the first place. The theory sounds reasonable enough. These grains contain carbohydrates that feed soil microbes, and fermented rice water has nutrients plants can use. I mean, I fell for it too. I dutifully saved my pasta water, collected rice rinses, and even bought corn gluten meal because the internet promised it would revolutionize my garden. Here's the reality that nobody wants to admit. Rice and corn offer minimal nutritional value to your soil compared to their hype. Rice water contains mostly starches with trace amounts of vitamins. Corn, unless it's a specialty product like corn gluten meal used for pre-emergent weed control, doesn't provide the complex nutrition your soil biology actually needs. You're essentially feeding your soil empty calories when it's starving for a complete meal. The worst part? These trendy amendments can actually create problems. Excess carbohydrates without balanced nutrition can cause microbial populations to boom and crash, temporarily tying up nitrogen and leaving your plants worse off than before. I watched this happen in my own beds before I figured out what was going wrong. Here it is, the amendment that changed everything for me and countless other gardeners who've discovered its power: alfalfa. Whether you use alfalfa meal, pellets, or even hay, this legume is the most complete, effective soil amendment you've probably never considered. And, I'm going to show you exactly why it outperforms every trendy kitchen scrap hack out there. Alfalfa isn't just another organic matter source, it's a nutritional powerhouse that delivers exactly what your soil biology needs to thrive. With an NPK ratio of approximately 3:1:2, it provides balanced nutrition that feeds both your plants and the microorganisms in your soil. But the real magic goes way deeper than those basic numbers. When I first started using alfalfa meal in my vegetable beds, I noticed differences within 2 weeks. The plants looked more vigorous, the leaves were deeper green, and the soil itself felt different, more alive somehow. I pulled back the mulch layer and found the soil surface absolutely crawling with life. Earthworms, beneficial insects, and that beautiful white fungal mycelium that signals a healthy soil ecosystem. The secret to alfalfa's effectiveness comes down to a natural plant growth hormone called triacontanol. This compound, found in high concentrations in alfalfa, acts as a powerful growth stimulant for plants. Studies have shown it can increase photosynthesis rates, improve nutrient uptake, and boost overall plant vigor. But you won't find triacontanol in your rice water or ground corn. Beyond the growth hormones, alfalfa provides a complete amino acid profile that soil microbes absolutely thrive on. When you add alfalfa to your soil, you're not just feeding one type of organism, you're supporting the entire soil food web. Bacteria break down the readily available proteins and carbohydrates. Fungi colonize the more complex materials. The result is a sustained release of nutrients that keeps feeding your plants throughout the growing season. So, I've tested this side by side in my own garden. One bed got my usual compost and the trendy rice water treatment. Another bed got alfalfa meal worked into the top few inches of soil. And you know what? The alfalfa bed outperformed by every metric. Faster growth, better yields, healthier plants, and noticeably improved soil structure by the end of the season. Here's something that shocked me when I really dug into the research. Alfalfa has roots that can reach down 10 to 15 feet into the subsoil. This means alfalfa plants are mining minerals from deep in the earth and bringing them up into their biomass. So, when you add alfalfa to your garden, you're getting access to trace minerals that surface-feeding plants like corn and rice never touch. Your tomatoes need calcium for strong cell walls and to prevent blossom end rot. Your leafy greens need iron and magnesium for deep green color and healthy growth, and your fruiting plants need boron, zinc, and a whole host of trace elements that we rarely think about. Alfalfa provides all of this in a form that's readily available to both plants and soil organisms. You know, I used to struggle with blossom end rot on my tomatoes every single year, no matter how much crushed eggshells or CalMag spray I used. But honestly, the first season I top-dressed with alfalfa meal, the problem virtually disappeared. Not because alfalfa is magic, but because it was delivering the complete nutrition my plants needed in a form they could actually use. The beauty of alfalfa is its versatility. You can use it in multiple ways depending on your garden setup and what you're trying to accomplish. I've experimented with every method and they all work. You just need to match the application to your situation. For existing beds and established plants, I top dress with alfalfa meal or pellets at a rate of about 1 to 2 pounds per 100 square feet. I simply sprinkle it around my plants, keeping it a few inches away from stems, and then water it in thoroughly. The alfalfa begins breaking down immediately, and within days, you'll see increased microbial activity in your soil. If you're preparing new beds or doing seasonal soil renewal, work alfalfa meal into the top 4 to 6 inches of soil a few weeks before planting. This gives it time to begin decomposing and integrating with your existing soil biology. I do this every spring in my annual vegetable beds, and, honestly, the difference in plant performance is dramatic compared to beds that only get compost. For container gardeners, alfalfa is a real game changer. Mix alfalfa meal into your potting soil at planting time, or just top-dress containers monthly during the growing season. The confined space of a container means nutrients get depleted quickly, and alfalfa provides sustained feeding that keeps container plants thriving without constant fertilizing. You can also make alfalfa tea for a quick liquid feed. I use about 1 cup of alfalfa meal per 5 gallons of water. Let it steep for 24 to 48 hours, and then use it to water plants. The tea provides an immediate nutrient boost while also inoculating your soil with beneficial microbes. My transplants especially love this treatment. They establish faster and show less transplant shock. Let's talk about the practical side because I know you're probably wondering about cost. A 50-pound bag of alfalfa pellets costs me about $15 at the feed store. That same amount of specialty garden amendments would cost 10 times as much. And unlike rice or corn from your kitchen, which provides minimal benefit, alfalfa delivers measurable, repeatable results that transform your soil season after season. I calculated my costs last year. Between saved rice water, corn products, and various other trendy amendments I tried, I probably spent $40 and saw marginal improvements at best. The 2 bags of alfalfa I used throughout the season cost $30 and completely transformed 3 of my garden beds. The return on investment isn't even close. Since switching to alfalfa as my primary soil amendment, I've seen improvements I didn't think were possible without years of soil building. My clay soil now has workable structure down to 8 inches. My plants grow faster and show better pest and disease resistance. My yields have increased by roughly 30% across most crops. And perhaps most importantly, my soil is building itself now. Each season, it gets better without requiring more input from me. You know, the earthworm population has really exploded. The soil, it stays moist longer during those dry spells because, well, the improved structure just holds water better. And honestly, the overall health of my garden ecosystem has reached a level I struggled to achieve with compost alone, let alone with just kitchen scraps and those viral garden hacks. So, if you're still dumping rice water on your garden or trying to make corn work as a soil amendment, let me tell you from experience, there's a better way. Alfalfa, it's not trendy, and it doesn't make for viral social media content, but it works. It delivers the complete nutrition, growth hormones, and trace minerals your soil needs to become a thriving ecosystem that grows incredible plants. Give it a shot, just in 1 bed this season. Use it alongside your current methods if you're feeling skeptical, but, I have to say, I'm confident you'll see the same transformation I did. And once you experience what real soil feeding looks like, you'll never go back to those viral hacks again. If this information has changed your perspective on soil amendments, why not subscribe to Grow with Soil for more evidence-based gardening strategies that actually deliver results? Share this with your gardening friends who are still chasing trends instead of building real soil health. Together, we can grow better gardens based on what actually works, not what's trending this week.